Welcome back to ArkanTalk. We are here with the legendary Big Piph. Piph, thank you so much for coming on ArkanTalk, man. For everyone who doesn't know, which is not going to be that many people, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Cool. So nowadays I call myself like a hip hop adventurer. It's an intersection like where hip hop culture meets underserved community work, meets entrepreneurship. But when I'm trying to be sure, I rap and do other stuff. Yeah.
And I don't want to diminish away from just a rapper, philanthropist, community advocate. And I think the one that most people don't put together is Stanford alum. Tell us about your time at Stanford.
Oh, it was great, man. It's honestly some of the best 4 years of my life. So I'm from Pine Bluff, graduated from there, went to Stanford, switched from pre-med to industrial engineering, got my degree in, it's a good question, I forget, mechanical engineering.
Okay.
So I got my BS in mechanical engineering. It was actually there where I actually became a rapper. So I always tell people, a lot of times people ask me like, you went to Stanford, how'd you end up rapping? But if it wasn't for Stanford, I actually would have never started rapping. So.
Talk about that. Talk a little bit about that transition, because most people who go to Stanford don't come out a rapper.
Yeah, that's what I heard. So more or less, I was actually trying to get over a fear, and my fear was public speaking. So I was could not talk in front of 7 people. And I was already in love with hip hop, so I actually entered a talent show rapping to get over that fear. Long story short is I fell in love with performing, started doing it more and more. So through getting over that fear in Stanford at a talent show is where I found myself. And I was junior year of college.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And another thing I know people might not know about is just the element of taking hip hop and providing context around that to the youth. I know you've done different workshops and things. Tell us about those workshops that you had for the youth.
Yeah, so kind of the way it happened was around 2012 was the first time I got a call by the embassy, and they asked me to go work in Gambia to do workshops, panel discussions, and also perform in the Western African city of Banjul, Gambia. Did that, came back on a sabbatical to try to figure out given where I was in my career, also kind of my passion for doing more in the community, how to combine that more, and then I actually got to go back to Africa that same year, and I went to Mauritius and Seychelles. Okay. Kind of the mixture between those 2 trips, also my sabbatical, I started doing more community-based activities where it was taking the aspects of hip-hop, because of course many people confuse hip-hop and rap music the same thing, but just hip-hop culture and the disciplines, and what I got from it, especially discipline, communication, creativity, and confidence, and relaying that for different workshops with youth. And then I've just been expanding it since then, so I still do, I'll do workshops with corporate engagements, universities, colleges, but each one's different, but still the basis of my hip hop background.
I got you. So when you talked a little bit about it when you said DJing and MCing, break down for the listeners the elements of hip hop.
Yeah. So DJ first, always the most important one. DJ, graffiti, b-boying and b-girling, and MCing. So I always tell people MCing was last, and actually was the least important one because they were just doing stuff on the break beats to tell people hey, you double parked or something like that. And then they started rhyming more, and that became the advocate. That's why back in the day, when you had the DJ rapper DJ rapper duos, it was always the DJ's name first, DJ. Eric B and Rakim. Rakim was second because Eric B was more important. DJ Jazzy Jeff the Fresh Prince, you know what I'm saying? So the MCing came as the latter extension of it, both those 4 elements. And the culture is just the basis of impoverished, overlooked people not needing the go-ahead from anybody else and just doing it themselves. So hip-hop culture is the fact of, hey, we's an important people. It doesn't matter if y'all pay attention to us, we'll create our own thing.
Oh,
so that's the ethos of the culture too.
Yeah. Growing up, who did you listen to? Who does Piph look up to?
In MCing?
Yeah.
So here's what's funny. So the first people that really stuck with me were 8-Ball MJG.
Okay.
Right, so I heard Lay It Down, and it was just a combination of the beats and the rhyme flow, right? Because my homeboys always trying to put me on the East Coast rappers, and I just couldn't rock with any of their beats.
Yeah.
And then I heard Lay It Down from the parking lot, and when I heard how MJG's son name on it, that was 8-Ball. From the night before, just the way he wrote the beat with just the dun-dun, dun-dun, and it was the beats and the flow combined.
Staying in that pocket.
Yeah, and that's what had me hooked. And from that was the gateway drug. Because actually, I'll take it back a little bit before that. I was already stuck. I felt like Naughty by Nature OPP, but once again, it was old school sample, so on and so forth. And that was a gateway drug. I became a huge Suave House fan.
Okay.
And then I was able to re-listen to a lot of rappers I didn't like before. East Coast wise, and I became like, you know, in the Nas and Jay and stuff like that.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So knowing about that, I hate to put you on the spot.
Yeah.
So you're an MC. What's the best rhyme that you got off the top?
Best rhyme. Probably the only rhyme I remember right now. Let's see it. So what you want to just rap it towards you? What you want me to do?
The camera, me, wherever.
Cool. I'll rap to the camera because what people always when they ask that, if I rap to you, it's gonna get weird.
Yeah.
Back and like gonna make inadvertently long eye contact.
I got you.
Cool. So it's a long one. You sure?
Okay, all right, go with it. Or you can cut it at any point.
No, it's gotta get the whole
All right.
story out.
Go
So,
with it.
Cool. So this is what I've been working on. I've been working on some new projects, and like where I am in the point of like rapping nowadays is like relaying thoughts in a story,
Yeah.
and not being confined just to a verse structure. So
Got you.
that's my disclaimer for this next 2 minutes.
All right.
I don't plan much when I rap nowadays. I just apply the pen and the page, the flow on stage, the rhymes and cage. My mind moves ways outside the lines that's laid. I find I'm made a little different. Folks love to talk with no actions, reverse pantomime for days. My grind's been raised to help a brother break free. You say you can't leave, you's defined as slave. I found some grays in the beard, it felt weird. Then a slight chuckle like, brother, I'm still here. Folks come around, but I swear they want to play me though. Want to break bread, so I had to go paleo. Sometimes you gotta go against the grain. Old mindsets reject new things. I'm at the age they want you to stay the same, but some things I can't change. On the flip, I was on the same page with this woman I was after. Novel type love, we was booked for the rapture. Little bit by little bit became more illiterate to hard to read each other. Now we on different chapters. But life goes on. That's what you say when can't right them wrongs. So I write these songs just to vent exhale. That wind blow until it hits the next gale. But math be a hater. In failed relationships, I'm the common denominator. Still my soul ain't too below 34 Fahrenheit. Never scared of heights, that's apparent how I'm wearing life. Custom made, Taylor on call, probably gonna fall. But my bounce back game keeps spalding and all. Y'all, who really at being me? Nah, I ain't tripping, been back on my feet. That's EA, not double E, trouble me not. There's too much love in the spot. We keep the covenant locked, cause we's a bubbling pot. Don't you rub it this hot. You ain't loving what we pubbing, then you probably should. My team pop collars when we coming off the cuff. That's button up talk like the mouths that we hush. But our style's not discussed much. Media rather focus on anything making us look greedier, or more savage, or more needier. But kill that. Let me tell you how I'm seeing us buying up blocks, trying out stocks, voter campaign, easing black pain, or building black strength. Cause it's apparent on the cool, that's what them fools really fearing, ain't it? So I ain't even caring, see we rarely watch news. Y'all getting along, we hitting the snooze, then hitting the moves where they talk is our dust. Gotta multiply when you's a product of the bluff. And the other city that I show enough claim, namesake for Johnson, comma Dwayne. So from LR to PB, we are who we BG, 100% real, no VR when you see me. On the right approach, I could be your life coach, but I charge nowadays, consider this here a freebie.
Hey, love it. Dope. Couple of things that stood out to me in the beginning where you talked about my rhymes are raised to set brothers free. And then at the end, you transitioned there was a lot of talk about empowerment and things in the black community.
Yeah.
So when you relate that to hip hop now, what do you consider the status of where hip hop is now? You got rappers like Migos, you got rappers like Gunna, a lot of people are straying away from storytelling and consciousness of rap. What's your thought about that?
Yeah, so actually I usually have almost a contrarian view to a lot of people, but I find it to be the best of time and the worst of times. And what I mean by that is hip hop hit a point of where it became the #1 genre, and when that happens, and also the barrier to entry from hip hop decreased because you used to have to do all the stuff in the studio. So when that happened, just a flood of artists went in there, right? So from that, you find, for me, more of a larger range. So still, you will know you come from like this top 40 standpoint, you may just be able to pick out like some artists that seem to kind of glamorize things that may be detrimental or tell their story that may not always be the most favorable. But in that same range, there's tons of artists above and below the scene who are doing an opposite. So if you even think the top 3 of the top 5 artists are not even known to be in that realm. You have Cole, Kendrick, and like Drake. They're like 3 of those top 5 artists that actually make the most money. And then also below the scene, underground, you have tons of artists I can name across the board.
Right.
And then, so for me, it's just like balance. It's the problem more so is sometimes the balance gets too out of whack for which the media gives attention.
Yeah.
But like I said, I work with a lot of students, and one thing I see is a lot of things that we name post 25, 27-year-olds, they ain't even thinking about because they're not finding their music off the radio. They're finding it in underground artists. And these underground artists, even past their music, a lot of them are doing tons of stuff in the community.
Right.
One great example being 21 Savage, who sometimes gets pubbed for the music he does, but he's been doing tons of build the community campaigns for time and time again.
The 21 thing with the financial literacy.
Yeah, and he's been doing stuff like that from the beginning. Like even when he got detained by ICE, he's now doing different things to help people fight their cases. Or you have Meek Mill, and now Meek's dealing with Jay, and they're doing the things against prison detention. So at the same time, there are some artists like at a point I think maybe do sometimes glamorize, overinflate certain things, and it's all across the board. But I think there's so many like artists doing amazing things on the mic and also in the community that like I'm kind of like proud of a lot of where it is right now.
So I definitely want to say, as somebody who's onlooker, that I've been just exceptionally proud of you. Not just your work in the community, not just rapping, not just the things you've done as international Piph, but rapping, storytelling, and then community activism put together. Can you tell people about Glow?
Yeah. So the Glow is, I describe it as if TED Talks were a hip hop concert wrapped in the OG Spike Lee narrative. And really what it is like after I started expanding a little bit outside just pure hip hop performing, I was doing speaking engagements, hosting, helping create different visuals. So this was like the perfect thing to encompass all that in one piece. So it's like this 90+ minute theater-based show, crowd sitting down with visuals, music, storytelling, crowd interaction that relates an aspect of my story, but opens it enough that's relatable enough to the people at the audience. And it's been good, man. It's probably like, honestly, my proudest I've been at any single project in terms of creation, execution, how it's received.
Yeah,
So
and how it's received has been sold out, standing room only shows. So just for the people who haven't had the chance to interact with it, are there going to be any more of the Glow shows coming anytime soon?
Yeah, so my next few ones are actually out the state, but I'm working on bringing it here. If not this year, top of next year. So I'm just basically been doing circuits, so working on bringing it back.
Definitely. Well, Piph, we appreciate everything that you are and do for the culture. You always have an open seat here at ArkanTalk. Thank you for coming on, man. All right. Thank you. And you guys, we'll see you guys next week with our next interview.